Hokie Hangover live on YouTube, live on X. Appreciate everyone here sticking around and listening for us. I know we're getting a little bit of a late start, but we really do appreciate you sticking around. Lots of stuff going on in the land of Virginia Tech athletics, specifically football. Tech's got a game this weekend. They're looking for a head coach. Some smoke is swirling around Blacksburg, and Mike has been in the thick of it, at least as far as SI is concerned.
Yeah. So a couple things, right? Everybody's seeing the rumors about Franklin, right? A lot of that stuff's legitimate. Okay. Like Tech and Franklin have communicated, right? Franklin's interviewed. All that stuff's legitimate. What I caution everybody with for any Jimmy Sexton clients is that he's going to get an offer from the school that he's talking to with his client, and they are going to leverage it against whoever else they can. Now, ultimately, it's up to the client to determine which job he's going to take. Jimmy Sexton's not going to say you have to go coach here or there.
Only Freddie Freeman's agent does that.
Only Freddie Freeman's agent does that.
Sorry, Joey, for when you hear that.
That's pretty funny. I think so. A couple things, right? I think in a perfect world, James Franklin would love Florida State and Auburn to open in a perfect world. Now, I think only one of those.
Why is that?
Because I think those are two jobs that he would be interested in more so than Virginia Tech.
Okay.
Get him on the bigger stage faster, landing on his feet, more money, that sort of thing. The issue is that Florida State has to pay Mike Norvell a gigantic buyout, and they're trying to get the money together for it. That's one issue, right? For Auburn, that money's less of an issue at Auburn because Auburn's Auburn and they have money. I think Virginia Tech fans should be rooting pretty hard for Auburn this weekend against Kentucky if you want James Franklin to be the next football coach.
I'm sorry.
It's comfortable, and I like it. Thank you.
For those listening to audio after the fact, our friends at the Basketball Conference podcast.
Either Scott or Joey. I don't know who it is.
Mike looking like a stoner bro in that poncho.
I think it's probably Scott.
Mike, are you need to tell us something? Is that why we got off to a late start tonight?
That was it. Yeah, that was it. Smoke him if you got him. I think Virginia Tech wants to root pretty hard for Auburn this weekend because I think Auburn could open if they lose to Kentucky, obviously. But I think what's different about this search, right, is that Franklin is not in play at Florida. He's not in play at LSU. And he just got fired from Penn State. Those are three big jobs open, right? Yeah. One of them he just got fired from. The other two, he's not really in play for. So that puts Virginia Tech in an interesting spot because while the Hokies aren't negotiating from a position of strength here, because this is a guy who would like transcend your football program in terms of who you could possibly get post Beamer, land in this kind of era, and he's a program builder, recruited the DMV. I think there are a lot of football reasons why this is a good fit. I think it becomes even more of a good fit if Virginia Tech is able to superpower the stuff behind him, NIL, revenue sharing. Because I do think there is merit to the program, those around it, the bigger donors, being more invested in putting together a more expensive roster for a guy like James Franklin if he commits to Virginia Tech versus, and I like these candidates, right? But versus a guy like a Bob Chesney, a Ryan Silverfield,
Charles Huff,
like those types, like that classic candidate. This is a guy who, like, if you get James Franklin and he agrees to come to Blacksburg and he's a top 10 coach in the sport, you're throwing all your weight behind him in a way that you're more sure about relative to some of these younger up-and-coming candidates who haven't had maybe a job like this before in a power conference.
It wouldn't surprise me, Mike, if some of these donors don't even know who Bob Chesney is. Or don't even, like, they may have heard of Charles Huff from the last cycle, but they may not. A lot of them may not even know who they are. But the chances that they don't know who James Franklin are pretty low.
Right.
So
Right.
to your point about generating buzz, like yes, the donors know Shane Beamer, that's obvious, but James Franklin's got some pretty good name recognition across collegiate athletics, and I don't think Tech would have too hard of a time selling that hire to anybody, let alone donors.
Yeah. Because there's two sets of donors, right? There's the guys who have been here like with Frank. Then there's like the newer guard, newer money.
Yep.
I think Franklin, you get both groups. I think they both
And to be
kind of
clear,
get
you
one.
got to have both, right? Like
Right.
Tech is not in a position where they can be kind of just sidelining part of their donor class. I mean,
Yeah.
this is not Alabama or Ohio State or Michigan. You've got to take advantage of every dollar that you could possibly get.
Or LSU, where they're passing the hat around essentially at in the second half when things are going south, saying, "Would you guys pay for this buyout? Would you be interested in paying for the buyout? Would you be interested in paying?" Like
So,
that was something that happened. Apparently, Ross Dellinger reported that they were literally going around the suites at LSU, like the high level donors were. They were getting the money together at like after halftime when things started going really south, the third quarter against
yeah.
A&M.
So we were in the comments before you got here, Mike. We were talking briefly about LSU, and I made the comment that regardless of how bad it may be in Blacksburg lately, the governor's not getting involved, which is nice.
Yeah.
who knew that would have to be a concern? I have to admit, I was not aware that Louisiana state politics played such a large role in the governance and decision making at Louisiana State University.
Yeah.
Especially on the athletic side, it's absolutely nuts. And you've got the governor of Louisiana going out there and stepping in it, and he's rubbing some people the wrong way about throwing his AD under the bus. Well, they just fired the AD.
Yep.
And I mean, it's just been a bit of a disaster. So, as rough as things have been in Blacksburg here the last several months, just be glad that we're not having to deal with elected politicians over here meddling in the search committee or something like that.
Yeah.
Because
I
it could
think,
always get worse.
and Virginia Tech, from what I understand, has made a competitive. Like they've been talking about, like, hey, we'll go upwards of 10 million for a football coach if it's the right. Like Tech will pay Franklin 10 million. Franklin's probably going to counter right with 11. Like if Virginia Tech gets this done, I think Tech fans are going to be like, "Oh my God, how are we paying for that?" Like, first of all, not your money. Don't worry about it. Like most of the people listening to this podcast, like it's not your money. Like, don't, like it is, but it isn't, right? Like you're paying like a couple $100. I don't want to like shame the folks here like listening to this show, but like there's a difference between the top tier donors, right, that are like really paying for this versus all of us, or the university, right, versus all of us, like the new money, like add football infrastructure. I have a feeling though, like if Tech gets this done with Franklin, we're probably going to get screwed on the contract a little bit because you have to overpay to get this guy to come here at this present moment.
So there's a couple things here. One, James Franklin's total compensation at Penn State, from what I gather, was $9 million. It would be quite a coup for Franklin and Jimmy Sexton for him to get canned and then get a raise.
Yeah.
Now it's important to note that the market is exploding as far as coaching salaries, coaching buyouts. These numbers just continue to get more ludicrous every single offseason, Mike.
Yeah.
Where
Lane Kiffin's going to get.
I don't know what he's making now, but it would be hard for me to fathom a scenario where Lane Kiffin is not a top 3 paid head coach.
I was going to say 14, 15 million maybe.
Well, so I mean, and he won't be the only one, Mike.
Mm-mm.
That's the one thing that we're going to have to keep mental note of as we go through kind of the silly season here of head coaches, is that LSU opening up, Penn State opening up, Florida opening up, Florida State and Auburn potentially opening up. That's created a demand for some of these coaches that have good track records. It's also created a demand for coaches that don't have good track records or have track records that are somewhat in the middle of the road. And I bring that up because Matt Rule just got an extension from Nebraska where he'll be making more money than Kurt Cignetti at Indiana, which is patently insane. But this is the market that we're now living in for college football. So keep that in mind. But I think anything more than 10 million may be kind of pushing it. And I know that may be loser talk, and it may be a word of someone that hasn't been able to root for a program that's sitting at the big kids table for quite some time.
I mean, we haven't been in that position, so it's like,
so maybe I'm being naive and I'm not understanding the realities here, but there is something to be said about trying to funnel a little bit more cash towards your roster as opposed to all to the top with the head coach.
Yeah.
And yet there has to be a balance, right? You have to be able to pay big money in order to bring in a good head coach. But you also have to be able to pay big money to get you a roster that can compete at that level if that's what you're trying to win at. And it certainly sounds like that's the level Virginia Tech wants to play at. So if that's the case, you're going to have to come with the goods. And that may mean a $11 million deal for James Franklin. Now, I will say I sincerely hope we're not going to get into this 10-year contract range. I don't even think it's really appropriate for somebody like Franklin that, let's be honest, the chances that he's around here for a second deal are minimal at best. He's not going to be a guy that's probably going to stick around at Tech, and that's fine. But we've made that abundantly clear on the show.
Yeah.
Totally fine at this point if Virginia Tech brings in a mercenary that can come in and get this ship rolling and then bounce.
B Buzz Williams. Fine.
I'm totally on board with that.
Yeah, be the football Buzz Williams.
So if that's what it ends up taking, then so be it. I am concerned about Sexton. He has a history of this. It's well renowned, well covered. Everyone knows it. Anyone that's been covering national coaching searches for more than a year knows that this is how Sexton operates. Is it possible that he is just using Virginia Tech as a bargaining chip for somewhere else? Absolutely. 100%. Do I think that James Franklin wants to coach in Blacksburg? I think part of him does. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he sees opportunity in Blacksburg. I think he sees maybe a little less crazy of a situation than where he was coming from. He sees a less crazy situation than other schools he could potentially go to.
He sees the same. SEC. He sees the same recruiting ground that he's been recruiting in for years. And if you have the money, if you get the money right behind you for the roster, okay, you have all the relationships already.
And also, he still has the playoff access.
Mm-hmm.
And Franklin has been very clear for years now, not just that interview he did on College Game Day. Franklin's been very clear that he is all about winning a national championship. That's what matters to him. He's been saying that for a while now. And you have to obviously have access to the playoff to do that. And right now, the ACC still has that. And the ACC will probably have that at least until Clemson and Florida State and maybe some other schools bounce and the conference looks nothing like it does right now. But unfortunately, fans, we're just going to have to be patient. If you were hoping for a resolution to the James Franklin rumor or the James Franklin saga within 24 hours, I'm sorry. I know that you're disappointed. So am I. I would like to know one way or the other because The reality is there's going to be a point in the next maybe 2 to 3 weeks where Virginia Tech is going to have to start looking elsewhere.
I think even sooner than that.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what that timeline would be because
Yeah.
some of the coaches that they're looking at are outside playoff contenders.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at you, Ryan Silverfield. I'm looking at you, Bob Chesney. So I don't know what their interview timelines are going to look like, but essentially by mid to late November, Tech is going to have to start being in some serious talks with other guys. So maybe we get some sort of resolution inside of 2 weeks or maybe inside a week. I don't know. I do think a lot of it is going to be dependent, though, on how things are looking at Auburn, how things are looking at Florida State, if they get a feel for whether or not Norvell is going to hang around or not. So until then, we're kind of in this limbo situation, which sucks.
Yeah.
It absolutely sucks. I get it. It's not fun. People are making jokes about refreshing X every 5 seconds about James Franklin and Virginia Tech, and I get it. And unfortunately, you're just going to have to be patient.
And Virginia Tech wants an answer. Like, this is Franklin's job if he wants it.
Yep.
Like, they've made it clear. He's the top guy.
This is candidate 1.
He's the top guy.
This is not candidate 2. This is candidate 1.
Everything, yeah, like the rumors about it being close, this and that, the other thing, like I tweeted this yesterday, but like nothing's close with Jimmy Sexton until it's done. And then I followed that up with, that doesn't mean it won't get done though. Like, this is legitimate. Like, Virginia Tech wants him. Franklin has interest. Can you get across the finish line with Jimmy Sexton? It's tough. I mean, he's a tough nut to crack. He's very, very good at this, Sexton. Very, very good at this, which is why he's got all the top, Franklin, Saban, Lane.
How many elite coaches does he represent?
I mean, represent Nick, Lane.
He still represents Nick.
Still represents him. Lane, James Franklin.
I know there's a handful more.
Is Lincoln Riley a Sexton client? This is going to bother me.
I'll look it up really quick. He doesn't represent Brian Kelly. We know that.
No.
Oh, Kalen DeBoer, Kirby Smart, basically a bunch of the Bama guys.
Sark, Norvell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan Lanning, another Bama guy. Dabo, a former Bama guy, right?
Yeah.
So Sexton's got his hands in all of the pots as far as college football is concerned at the elite level. And it's no different than Scott Boras in Major League Baseball.
Right.
Teams, including the team I root for, the Baltimore Orioles, hate Scott Boras because he is prohibiting the Orioles from potentially locking up some of their young players. And it's going to be no different in college football, where Jimmy Sexton is not going to let his clients settle.
Yep.
They're going to get the biggest, fattest contract that they can possibly get.
The longer this drones on, the less likely, in my opinion, the less likely he comes to Blacksburg.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons that we've already laid out.
If he's serious, if this is where he wants to be, this will be done before Florida State.
Yeah.
If he's serious. If he's not serious and he's like, maybe I want to go to Tech, I don't know, but it's possible, then this will drag on for weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Tech wants him bad. I commend the committee, right? Everybody signs NDAs, all that stuff. This stuff starts leaking out. It's legitimate.
These leaks, they may not even be coming from Tech.
They aren't.
I was going to say, well, I know the stuff you're hearing is not.
The stuff I'm hearing is not. The stuff that's like out there, because there's other stuff on Twitter, like message boards and stuff like that. That's probably coming from Tech, more from Tech, I would think.
But what I was going to say is, if it's coming from Tech right now, it has been blessed by the search committee at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
It is a targeted leak. It is a conscious decision to leak that information if it's going to come out.
Right.
Now, Sexton, he's going to negotiate in public all day long.
I mean, that's a position of strength for him. And Virginia Tech is like not. So Virginia Tech's not operating from a position of strength for obvious reasons, but they also just they need to know, right? There's a point in time where James Franklin needs to give Virginia Tech an answer one way or another, because Virginia Tech can't sit on its hands too long that they miss out on a good number 2 option.
Yep.
So that's just the nature of it. So whenever that date is, right? I've seen stuff thrown out on social media, like the date being like tomorrow, of it being sometime next week, whenever it is. And I don't know for sure. Whenever it is, right? Virginia Tech needs to have an answer, and they need to move on. And if the dream is dead, that's unfortunate, but you cannot you cannot wait around and miss out on a good number 2. It's too hot of a cycle. Like there are too many good jobs open. And I'm not even talking about like the elite of the elite. It's just too many good jobs open at the level that Virginia Tech's playing at.
And there
And
are jobs that will come open at that level that are not open yet.
You took the words right out of my mouth that you and I talked about in the last show that like could open, that could impact this search if Virginia Tech waits around too long. Again, some of it's in Virginia Tech's control, some of it's not. But when you have identified your guy and you tell him that the job is his if he wants it, he needs to give you an answer at some point. And the longer this drones on, I think the worse it looks for Virginia Tech in terms of like actually landing him. I think Virginia Tech fans should really, really be pulling for Auburn this weekend. Because if that opens, I think all bets are off.
Tech does not play next weekend. So if the Hokies are not able to get
big
this
interview weekend,
yeah, if Tech's not able to get a firm yes or no, and let's just iron out the details, then that I think you might hear some stuff about Tech moving on.
Yeah, rightfully so. By the way,
yeah, and I was going to say, if we get to that point, don't panic. It's not worth it. There are good options that are not named James Franklin that will be available this offseason. You can go find yourself a good coach that isn't James Franklin. I understand that a lot of people are excited about Franklin, and rightfully so. The guy's a winner. But there are guys out there that can probably get this job done. You can get it done the right way.
Yep.
And like Mike said, those guys are going to be in high demand this year. This is going to be a cycle that I don't know that we've seen a coaching cycle quite like this in a while, where you have, I mean, there's a possibility we end up with like 7, right? Like blue blood openings.
Yeah. And even like a few years ago when LSU, USC, and Notre Dame opened, that was different because Notre Dame didn't really do a search. I mean, they did, but they didn't. They kind of identified Freeman.
Yeah.
Riley leaving was a shocker. And Oklahoma did a search and they landed on Venables. But like the Kelly one in particular, and then Lincoln Riley leaving, those happened really quickly. And where they were at in the cycle made it kind of it was interesting because it was later. It was like in December. Notre Dame was getting ready to potentially play in the playoff when Kelly left. Mm-hmm. So that's a really weird time to voluntarily leave your job versus getting fired. So that was even different than what this is. I mean, I can't remember the last time we had 3 premier openings in Penn State. Like Penn State, Florida, and LSU are 3 of the best jobs in college football, and they're all open at the same time. I can't remember a time when that happened.
Yeah. And the ability for those cascading openings where
right
you see a school like Ole Miss opens, that changes the game. Trying to think elsewhere. If you see a school like Louisville open, where if Braum goes, Missouri, if Eli Drinkwitz goes somewhere,
right. Yeah,
those are all possibilities. And Tech does not want to have to hire against Ole Miss and Missouri.
Yeah,
hiring against Arkansas is a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
Missouri and Ole Miss, very different.
Yeah, and I did a poor job of explaining my point. I meant like Though it's been a long time since 3 jobs of this caliber opened this early, is what I meant to say. Obviously, USC, Notre Dame, and LSU were 3 premier jobs. They were all open a few years ago, but to open in October is insane.
I mean, people are bringing up Mike Elko potentially leaving A&M, which I find absurd.
Yeah.
But if that were to happen, let's play devil's advocate. If it does, I mean, A&M's a blue blood job.
It's a huge job. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there aren't many jobs I put above A&M. Truthfully, fan support, money, everything. SEC. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
I think A&M's a better gig than Florida. I think A&M's a better gig than Penn State.
Yeah.
I think A&M has an argument to be a better job than LSU because the alignment at LSU right now is, I mean, they just fired Woodward tonight, which I think they should have done. They just fired Scott Woodward tonight, and you have the governor running that search. I mean, internal, it's a disaster from
it's
from
a mess. They don't have a university president. The governor's all over the place. I don't know how much it would impact Tech, but another school that could potentially have an opening here, Baylor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, probably going over.
Baylor's lost back-to-back games. They have to face 2 teams currently ranked in their final 4 games. Yeah, I don't know. Baylor at 4-4 is kind of on the brink. I think Aranda might be in trouble.
He's doing what Fuente was doing. He's just kind of maintaining. He's not really.
Yeah.
He's been kind of bouncing around a little bit.
Only thing we know is that we know nothing.
We know nothing.
So tune in next week.
This is still interim coach led Virginia Tech.
Yeah. Philip Montgomery's still running the show. And look, I put this out there in my column where I put my top 5 head coaches or head coaching candidates, of which if you haven't read that, go read it. I included Philip Montgomery as an honorable mention because there is a scenario where if Tech strikes out on some of these guys, you have to interview Philip Montgomery.
Yeah.
I'm not I am not advocating for him to get the job. I don't know that I would necessarily be happy if Philip Montgomery got the job. But if that situation arises where you are swinging and missing on guys, you could do worse.
Yeah. I mean,
so he's certainly someone that like don't throw him off the board yet. Don't
the search would have to go wrong. But like if you get to that point,
crazier things have happened.
First of all, crazier things have definitely happened. Also, you have this guy in house already. So
yep. And you're getting a firsthand look at what he can do, at least to a bit of a lesser extent, but regardless.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, he's doing a pretty decent job. He's won 3 games. 2 of those are 1-score wins, which is a popular stat around here. Things are going to be a little bit more difficult this weekend. Tech's hosting the Louisville Cardinals. We talked about Braum earlier as a potential candidate at some other schools. He's getting brought up in some discussions.
Penn State now, especially with Rule off the board.
Matt Rule's not off the board. That guy signed an extension.
I know, and then left for the Panthers. Yeah,
and then immediately left for Carolina. Immediately.
I know. $15 million buy. It's $15 million a school has to spend just to even have the opportunity to hire him. But I mean, Penn State will do it.
Penn State stroked a check to get Franklin the hell out.
And if Franklin takes another job, they don't have to worry about that buyout nearly as much.
Yeah, if they want Rule bad enough, they'll bring him in. But
especially if Franklin gets another job, then it's
I just want to again pull up the fact that Matt Rule, folks, has not been an elite coach in quite a while.
No, he's a good coach. He's not a he's not an upgrade from James Franklin at Penn State.
Mike, are you interested in me reading? I know we're supposed to get into the Tech Louisville preview here, but Can I interest you in some Nebraska win-loss records under Matt Rule?
Yeah, I looked at this earlier today. Go ahead for the people.
5-7,
Mm-hmm.
7-6, and they're 6-2 this year, but they're only
Improvement.
3-2 in the Big Ten.
Improvement.
Yeah, sure.
Improvement.
He's getting paid more than Kurt Signetti, just again for the second time. I just want to make sure people are aware of that.
He got no raise, by the way. He got like no raise in his base pay today. They just like extended it out and they upped the buyout and then put a bunch more in for incentives for him, apparently, for making the playoff and such.
Yeah.
It was basically like, please stay, please don't leave.
Jeff Brom might be getting an extension here soon to bring it back to Louisville.
Yeah.
The Cardinals didn't really play much of anybody in the early going except for JMU. They have the one overtime loss to UVA so far this year. Obviously, a couple weeks ago, they picked up a big win on the road at Miami. This is a team that has an outside shot at the playoff still. They're certainly in the hunt. They play pretty good defense, Mike. They've got an amazing running back, a pretty good wide receiver, number one. And I guess he's a bit of a game manager, Miller Moss. I don't know what you've probably watched a bit more Louisville football than I have this year, but I get the feeling that Miller Moss is kind of like the Jeff Brom special at quarterback, where they're fine. Like they have times where they can be good, but for the most part, they're fine.
Yeah, he's a little bit more gunslingy than like Jack Plummer,
or Tyler Shuck.
He's a little more all or nothing in that regard.
New Orleans Saints starting quarterback Tyler Shuck, by the way.
Shucks to shuck.
Not a C or K in that name, but whatever.
Yeah. So a couple of things. Louisville's offensive line is not outstanding. They do have Isaac Brown back healthy, which is good, and that does make a difference. He's a good back, but their offensive line has struggled in pass protection this year. They've actually struggled to really get the run game going too. So, I mean, Miller Moss gets the ball out quick. I mean, Chris Bell is an unbelievable wide receiver. He's very good. So, Virginia Tech secondary is a little banged up. That's something I'm concerned about in this game. Get Bell one-on-one opportunities against Virginia Tech secondary. I don't think that's something that Virginia Tech wants to get into more than a couple times in this game. So he's really good. He can make you pay. I think Virginia Tech's defensive line could give Louisville's offensive line some issues potentially. Defensive line has had its moments, right, where it's been pretty good. Yeah. I think there's opportunity here against the Louisville unit up front. This has been pretty up and down. On the other side of the coin, to start as a Miller Moss question, but it's just kind of building on this, right? Like if you put Miller Moss in a position where he's going to have to throw the ball 30 plus times, he will throw it to you.
Yep.
Right? Like Virginia Tech's path to winning this game is low scoring. It's going to have to be just nature of Virginia Tech's offense, which we can get into in a second. Louisville's defense, very good. Right. So it's going to have to be low scoring. But I think Virginia Tech's defense, stopping the run is paramount here because I think making Louisville one-dimensional, making Miller Moss throw it more than I think Louisville wants him to is where you want to be, I think, especially at home. Especially in a home game, get the crowd into it. I think that's your best path here. My concerns, right, just from Louisville's offense against Virginia Tech's defense, Tech's secondary is very banged up. Linebacker play has been up and down. I do think the defensive line can make some plays here, but can they make enough plays where it renders like the secondary situation moot? Probably not. So it's really a matter of limiting the explosive plays, keeping Chris Bell in check, hoping Miller Moss throws it to you. I think that's the path. This isn't Louisville's a huge favorite here. And like part of me is thinking they should be because of how good their defense is. But the other part of me is like this offense can get got in the right matchup. And I do think Virginia Tech, there's some things to like with Virginia Tech's matchup here up front, especially on defense. So I don't know. I think there's some paths here for Virginia Tech to keep this game competitive.
Yeah, the one that worries me the most, Mike, Isaac Brown's really good.
Yeah,
He's leading the
he
country in
is.
yards per carry. I mean, he's the real deal. And him and Chris Bell kind of put Tech in a tough spot because you're going to have to try and stack the box a little bit to win the numbers game. That's going to leave you in some one-on-one matchups that, as Mike just said, you really don't want to find yourself in very often with Chris Bell. Isaiah Brown Murray has been okay this year. I think there have been times where he's been straight up good and some other times where it's been a little bit of hit and miss. He's actually getting the 25 this week, in case you guys missed that.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So big game for IBM. He's going to have to be on top of it. The safety play, Mike has also been kind of up and down. They're playing some freshmen back there. Sheldon Robinson, Brendan Johnson. Those are guys that those are freshmen. And honestly, Mike, I'm okay with playing those guys. I think they've flashed enough, kind of like Noah Chambers at linebacker, where I'm good with playing some of these younger guys on defense. I think that they've earned some run out there, especially Noah Chambers. I'm still a big fan of his right now. The Louisville offense, definitely the weaker unit of the two here for the Cards. But I think the big thing here is, can Tech's offense even remotely replicate what they did last week to Cal in the second half?
Yeah.
That's a huge question.
Gigantic question. It's the question of the game.
The offensive line played pretty darn well in the second half, but for the most part, Tech's biggest success on the ground in the second half was because of the threat of the QB run, which really changes it up for the defense. It completely changes how you're trying to fit the gaps. If Tech can find a way to grind this out, keep this a low possession game, keep this close, and kind of go to what you said, maybe Miller Moss gives you a gift. All of a sudden, you're in business. And this is not a game, Mike, where I want Kyron Drones throwing it more than 20 times. Or especially not 25. 25's got to be the cap. If Kyron Drones throws it more than 20, 25 times, Virginia Tech loses this game by 2 to 3 scores.
Yeah.
That is not the winning recipe for Tech. Tech needs to ground and pound, keep this close. It's not going to look pretty, Mike. It's going to look a little old school, a little ugly. I don't care.
Yeah.
This is your recipe to win. I wrote about this after the game last weekend. Follow the recipe. It's out. You've tried it and it works. Go back to it. This is who you are. You have found your offensive identity. Use it.
My concern is Louisville selling out to stop the run and Virginia Tech having no answers. I think that's like that's how Louisville covers this spread. And it's not that hard to see happen, right?
Nope.
I think Virginia Tech put a lot on film last week and what gave them success in the Cal game. The thing is, it was the same 2 or 3 plays over and over and over and over. And Louisville's defense is not going to give up. They haven't all year. I mean, they're not going to give up those types of plays at the clip that Cal was. So was last week more of a function of Virginia Tech's offense figuring something out, Cal's defense not figuring something out, or like, I guess my question is that a repetitive performance, which is what you just said, right? That's a huge question. Like, we don't know if what Virginia Tech did last week is even replicable against a defense like this. I mean, there's an argument to be made that Louisville's the best defense Virginia Tech's seen all year. Like that, there is an argument for that. So I don't know if Virginia Tech can run the ball the way they did against Cal. It would surprise me if they had like that kind of success. But can you do even half that. I mean, I think if Virginia Tech wants to like win this game, Kyron's going to have to make some throws here.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to run. It would shock me if they ran the ball as well as they did against Cal. So Drones is going to have to make some throws here,
and he's going to have to take care of the football, Mike.
Right? Like that interception last week, we forget about it because of how well he played. But like that interception was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a pick.
He's had a couple of those this year.
Really, some really bad interceptions. And if you do that here, I mean, they will. Yeah, it'll put you in a really bad spot quickly. It's got to be almost a perfect game from Drones, I think.
Yeah, so. Tech could probably benefit from a defensive play or a special teams play here as well, whether it be a turnover at midfield that gives Tech good field position, or a fumble or two, or maybe a huge punt return, something like that. You're going to have to find a way to tip the scales, because if this game plays out where both teams play average football, Louisville's going to win this game.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to win it by 13 to 14 points, something like that.
Virginia Tech, by the way, they got to be careful. Like Louisville's got a really dangerous return guy in Colin Lacey, who's their number 2 receiver. He's a really good return man, like all-American type specialist, like very, very good. So you can't have it swing that direction either, right? I mean, you got to cover the punts and the kicks, and like,
yeah. Any last words on this game? I mean, it's going to be a pretty beautiful, chilly day in Blacksburg. It'll be mid-50s, 3:00 kick. I think you'll get a good turnout for this game. I don't know if that crowd's going to stick around. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
but
it's not impossible. I mean, I don't think we're too pessimistic here. Like, I think there's a path for Virginia Tech to stay competitive, maybe even find a way to win this game. I know they're a double-digit underdog. It's going to be tough. A lot of things have to go right. But, like, Louisville played pretty uninspired football against Boston College last week. Like, that looked pretty bad. I mean, I watched that. I'm like, this is like the crock potting of the century. Just sloppy. Like, didn't really look like they wanted to be there, which I get. I mean, Boston College is horrible this year.
Yeah.
But, you know, Louisville's not like this perfect team. Miller Moss is not a perfect quarterback. There is a path here, right? You're going to have to probably force some turnovers. Drones will probably have to make a few throws. Is it likely you pull this upset? No. But is there a path? Absolutely there is.
It's important to note a couple things. The win over Miami, Carson Beck threw 4 interceptions.
4 gifts, man.
So,
yeah.
Louisville won that game by 3 with the quarterback.
Yep.
Forgetting what color his team's jerseys were.
Right on the money. Yeah.
So,
right on the money.
That win doesn't look as pretty if you dig a little bit deeper into the actual game.
Agree.
The
great win, but it was like hard for them to get, being +4 in turnovers.
Yeah.
+5. I think there was a fumble too, if I remember correctly.
The win over Virginia, it's losing a lot of stock for me. I am slowly back on the sell Virginia train.
Me too. They're obviously a lot better this year than they have been, but they're not as good as I thought they were a month ago.
They've got to be one of the luckiest teams in the sport.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you're looking at a good win over JMU in the second week of the year. That's certainly a good win. Bowling Green, pre-Heinschel Pittsburgh, which is Pitt's a completely different animal now that Heinschel's playing.
Different team, yeah.
The Virginia game, again, that loss looks less and less appealing the worse Virginia looks. The Miami win, again, good win, but Jesus Christ, guys.
Yep.
Carson Beck forgot who he was playing for. And then, like you mentioned, Mike, the BC win was about as uninspiring as it gets.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that was a 1-score game, like midway through the fourth.
It was not pretty.
And folks, I don't know if you've watched BC play football this year. They're bad.
Horrendous. Horrendous. They host Notre Dame this weekend. Wouldn't it be hilarious?
They're so bad. James is back at quarterback for BC.
Yeah, Grayson James is going to be starting his 3rd game in a row this Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, BC's 1-7. In case you're wondering.
Yep.
But no, if you think we've been too pessimistic, just wait until I give my pick. But no, again, Tech has a shot to win this game. I don't think it's likely. Tech has a shot to at least be able to cover here, and
Yeah.
I think that's much more likely. Unfortunately, there's also a scenario here where Tech gets run off the field by 3 scores.
Mm-hmm.
I think that only happens, Mike, if Tech gets out to a really bad start and
Yeah.
puts themselves in a bad game script where they all of a sudden start playing offense like they did a few weeks ago. And
I
that's
agree.
not winning football for this team.
I agree.
Let's get into some picks here. Before we do, I unfortunately need to give an update on the standings, Mike.
Man.
Andrew's leading the way. He's 40-25. He's had a pretty strong stretch here of late. Izzy was last. She's now second at 34-31. That leaves just me and you, Mike.
Yeah,
And,
I don't like how this is trending for either one of us here.
yeah, well, you're ahead by 1.
Okay.
So congratulations.
Thank you. I don't know if I should
I'm actually after a rough week last week, where I went 2-5. I have now fallen below 500 on my picks, so I really need to get my shit together this week.
Okay. Yep.
I think I did a little bit more research into my picks this week. Usually they're kind of haphazard off the top of the dome. We'll see if these picks are any better. Let's start with UNC, Syracuse, tomorrow night, Friday night game. Carolina's playing better football. Syracuse isn't. I'll take Carolina, even though Orange are 2.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I think the Heels get on the board in ACC play.
All of a sudden, man, if UNC can finish the year respectably and they're playing at this level, a lot of that talk, a lot of the fun we had at Bill Belichick's expense,
that off-field stuff, yeah, all that off-field stuff, yeah.
Yeah, he may enter year 2 with some momentum. So we'll have to it'll have to be something we're monitoring.
They could have easily won each of the last 2. I mean, they had fumbles at the goal line, and both those games end up in touchbacks. I mean, that's how you lose to Cal and UVA. I mean, they were inches away from the 2-point conversion.
Yeah,
against UVA as well. So
we're definitely monitoring the situation.
We are.
Noon ESPN, big game here in the ACC. Miami's traveling outside the state of Florida for the first time this year. They're playing SMU. Canes are 10.5-point favorites on the road. I guess I'm just a perennial hater on Miami. SMU looked like crap last week. Should have won that game, didn't. They both Wake and SMU looked like neither of them wanted to win the football game down the stretch. Until Wake finally said, "Okay, fine, we'll win the game." Regardless, give me the Ponies with the points at home.
Yeah, this is a tough one because SMU was so bad. Like, they looked so bad last week against Wake. I mean, the offense was in a really rough way of it. But I can't shake the way that Miami's won a lot of their games this year. They leave a lot of opportunities for backdoor covers. Like, they pull away and then they let off the gas. You know what I mean? The Florida State one is the one that comes to mind because it's the most recent time they've done that. But like, even against Stanford last week, it took them a while to obviously they eventually covered the spread, but it took them a while to really like kick their ass into gear. And then obviously once they did, they blew Stanford out. They're the much better team. So I'm going to take SMU here. This line is moving in SMU's direction, by the way. We previewed this on my ACC pod last night, and Miami was laying 12.5. So it's moving in SMU's direction. I still like SMU at 10.5. I think they can keep this through like a 1-score game, make it competitive, especially at home.
Yeah, I'm certainly hoping so. I need some points. Yeah. Noon on the ACC network. easily the worst network of all the Power Four networks. It's awful. Duke going to Clemson. Clemson's 3.5-point favorites at home. Clemson's coming off a bye. Give me the Tigers.
Yeah.
I'm still struggling with the fact that they stink this bad.
Yeah.
But give me Clemson to be able to cover this at home.
Yeah, I mentioned this on my ACC pod. I said I would probably regret it. I'm gonna take Duke, and I'm not with a lot of confidence, but it's almost like hedging against. Can Clemson really be this bad? Maybe. But like, who's got the better quarterback in this game? Probably Duke. Especially if, like, regardless of whether or not, I know Klubnik wasn't healthy 2 weeks ago, but like, even if Klubnik plays, I might want Mensa.
Yeah, I know. John Sumrall wanted Mensa tonight.
Oh my god! Yeah, I don't know what the final score was, but I saw the halftime score.
I think they made it a little closer, but still not a good one for Tulane. All right, Mike's on Duke. I'm with Clemson. Mike's favorite school, Notre Dame, traveling to Massachusetts. They're facing BC. Marcus Freeman's bunch is a 28.5-point road favorite. Mike, we just got done talking about how bad BC is.
Yeah.
Give me the Irish. Lay them.
Yeah, I know. I know we were talking about how bad BC is. That's just so many points.
It is.
The total is 55.5. I mean, Notre Dame's going to be doing all the scoring by themselves here. I mean, this is crazy. I think I'm taking BC.
Not a real
I think
thing.
Notre Dame wins by yeah. I mean, I don't feel again this would not shock me. Obviously, like Notre Dame could win this game like 40-3. Like,
yep.
This is the name your score game, I think, for Notre Dame. But
how
like,
much do you want to play Notre Dame? How bad do you want to be there?
And this also like, if you win this game 35-0 versus like 52-3, from a college football playoff standpoint, like style points, it doesn't matter because Boston College is so bad. Like, they're not going to look at that. If you win 35-0, you won by 5 touchdowns. They're not going to look at that much differently in this particular matchup versus like 52-3. Like, I don't think Notre Dame like has to run it up here.
Yeah. Yeah, I need the Irish here. BC's awful.
Yeah, they're really bad.
Next up, 3:30 on the ACC network. Pitt going to Stanford. Panthers are 14.5-point road. Lots of road favorites in the ACC this week.
Yep.
Look, I know Stanford played Miami close for a half last week, but Pitt looks like a different animal with Mason Heinchel at quarterback. That offense is humming. I hate to say it because I still am hate watching Pat Narduzzi. Regardless, I'll take the Panthers here, despite the 14.5-point spread.
Give me Stanford. Cross-country road trip for Pitt. Yeah, Mason Heichel's really good. He's been statistically one of the best quarterbacks in the country since he took over. Like, not even ACC, like in the country. He's been that good. Threw for 400 yards last week, set a freshman record for Pitt. Like, he's the real deal, and they've been a totally different team with him. Stanford's playing okay. Like, they play hard. They're not very good, but they play hard. And
playing better than they did earlier in the year.
Definitely. And this is just Pitt looked so good against NC State last week. Like, is this a little bit of a letdown spot? You have a bye week next week. Like, I see Stanford maybe ugling this up. I could. So, give me Stanford.
Fair enough. Speaking of cross-country trips, with another road favorite, Virginia going to Cal. Now it's at 5. Sorry, it was 4.5. We are now at 5.5. UVA. Mike, it's got to end. Give me the Golden Bears.
Yep.
Give me the Calgorithm. I think Cal can win this game outright.
Yep.
And if you're going to give me now 5.5 points, yeah, I'm taking Cal. I think UVA is due for a wake-up call. They've had a few opportunities to get their shit together over the last couple weeks, and they haven't done it yet. So I think it's about to bite them in the ass. I'll take the Calgorithm.
I'm on Cal too, outright. I think they get it done at home. I think they play a lot better than they did against Virginia Tech last week. And UVA's been floundering a little bit. Chandler Morris is hurt.
Yep, he's banged
So
up.
that adds an element to it as well. I think, not even me being a hater, I just think Cal's a really good chance here.
Same. Another road favorite, Mike. Georgia Tech going to Raleigh. I was there actually last night, by the way.
Oh,
Oddly enough, we were there for a Jonas Brothers concert.
you were a good husband, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. I will say, in all seriousness, they put on a good show.
Good.
It was very entertaining. Also, Lenovo Center, beautiful arena, incredible. I've never been there before. It looked really good. Anyway, Georgia Tech's going to be playing right across the parking lot at Carter Finley. Georgia Tech 6.5-point road favorites. GT's another team that I feel like is flirting a little bit, but a lot less so than UVA. Georgia Tech's played more complete football than the Hoos have. I'll take the Yellow Jackets here. I have serious concerns about NC State moving forward.
How far is Raleigh from you?
3-ish hours, 3.5.
Okay, that's not too bad.
I got home at like 3 a.m. last night.
That's tough. Did you have to work today too? Turn around and worked?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Good husband. I'm laying him with the Jackets as well.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech fans seem to be real scared about this game because this is like a traditional spot for them to lose, but I don't see it with this NC State team.
Are you concerned about Dave Dorn?
I think it's flying under the radar a little bit because there are so many other openings, but
They've lost 4 of their last 5, and the one win came against FCS Campbell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, vibes aren't good.
Speaking of jobs that Virginia Tech does not want to see open, I think NC State would be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Last one before we pick the game that matters this week. Wake going to Florida State. Wake not a road favorite here. Knowles 9.5. Now it's 10.5. Jeez, these points must have just moved.
Yeah,
I set these lines earlier today. Knowles are 10.5-point favorites. Sorry, give me Wake Forest. I don't know, man.
I respect it.
Look, I am all in on quit watch for Florida State because
Yep.
I'll be in Tallahassee for that game.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for me to not want to throw myself in the ocean after the game, I need Florida State on quit watch. So give me Wake here.
Yeah,
this is a potential outright win for Wake.
I know it is. And I think everybody's making really good points about it, right? Like Wake Forest is playing a lot better football. Florida State's probably quitting. It's a lot of points at home against a home crowd that's not in on Norvell anymore. They're all really valid points. This is just kind of like the Clemson pick you had with Duke, a much different game, but like the Clemson pick you had, I refuse to believe that Florida State is this bad that they're going to lose this game to Wake Forest. I refuse, especially with the line went from 8.5 to 9.5. Now it's a 10.5. Like moving in Florida State's direction like that, Wake Forest seems like it seems like Vegas is begging you to take Wake Forest. And there's something, again, not a lot of confidence here, Ricky, because I've seen with my 2 eyes how bad Florida State's been playing.
Yeah.
So I'm not hating on the pick at all. I just think there's something weird going on here with the Vegas line. And
Vegas knows.
I just refuse to believe that's why I'm taking Florida State, long and short. Fair
enough. I can't see the Noles beating this team by 2 scores.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's either you got to do that or you lose outright. I think those are the options. Definitely consider. I don't know. I just have the ESPN. Was it on ESPN Bet? I don't know if anybody ever uses for those of you that gamble a little bit.
For full transparency, all of our spreads that we use here are the ESPN Bet spreads.
Yeah. I mean, Wake Forest
at the time of pick.
Right.
I mean, Wake, they change.
Wake is plus 290 on the money line. So
yeah,
that's pretty decent value for against a Florida State team that has not been playing very well. This game opened Florida State minus 7.5. It's obviously moved a field goal in Florida State's direction. That's a lot.
If
That's a lot of movement.
if I had some discretionary income that I didn't mind lighting on fire,
Yes.
I would bet Wake Forest here.
Yes.
And I may do it money line.
Yeah. I think everybody should look at the Wake money line here.
If you're cooking up a parlay, folks.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get a little ticket ready.
mixing the bowls up, It's me cooking.
3:00 on the CW. God, this is Tech's third game on the CW this year.
I know.
Which does better ratings than the AC network, by the way, which is hilarious. 16th ranked Louisville coming into Blacksburg. It's going to be a beautiful, chilly day in Lane Stadium.
Tom Brenneman game, right?
Back at it again. Third game this year. Cards currently 10.5-point favorites here. Speaking of money line, Tech's plus 340.
Mm-hmm.
If you're feeling really spicy. Look, I don't think Tech wins this game. I do think Tech keeps this a little close. 10.5 to me feels a bit much.
Yeah.
I have not had a lot of luck this year picking Tech to lose and cover, but I'm going to do it. Give me the Hokies to keep this within 10.5. I think Tech can keep this game close because I do believe they're going to commit to the run again. And I'm not a big believer in Miller Moss. I do believe in the guys around him far more so, but I don't know. Something about Louisville to me just says that they're another good, not great team that can be gotten on any given day. So
yeah,
I'll take Tech to keep this a little close.
Yeah, I'm going to take Tech too, not with a ton of confidence because I do see a couple different paths where this game goes sideways for Virginia Tech, right? Number one, if Drones turns it over, if Virginia Tech just flat out cannot move the ball at all on Louisville, they're going to get grinded to a pulp if that's the case. Because I think even if Virginia Tech's defense comes out and plays well here, if you're not getting anything out of the offense, it's only a matter of time before the dam breaks. So, and I think Louisville's got better special teams play. I mean, John Love's unbelievable, but I mean, in terms of like the return game, I think they have a game breaker in the return game. So there are some paths here where I think Louisville could cover, but I don't know. I think I told you, I think Virginia Tech has a chance to win the line of scrimmage defensively. I think if they do that and put Louisville into some obvious passing situations, I do think that is the path to keeping this competitive. So I'm going to take Tech plus 10.5. I think Louisville wins, but I do think Virginia Tech puts up a good fight here.
A couple things to note. This is the first time Louisville has taken a trip to Lane Stadium since they joined the ACC. Also, I'm looking at the schedule here, Mike, that Louisville's played. Eastern Kentucky, James Madison, Bowling Green play the Falcon Sound. Scott.
Yep.
Pitt, UVA, Miami, BC. This will be the best crowd that Louisville's played in front of all year.
Mm-hmm.
Except for maybe a home crowd. I'm not sure how well some of those home crowds did.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm not sure if that plays a role here. Fans, if you're going to the game, please, for the love of God, don't leave early. You saw what happened last time you did that.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys took their shirts off and Tech came back and won.
Yes. Fun for the whole family, as I say.
Yes. It was good, clean family fun.
Yeah.
Any last words, Mike?
No, I'm good.
We'll be back with a recap sometime this week. I'll be in Blacksburg this weekend for the game. So Sunday night will probably be best for me. We'll go ahead and let you guys know ahead of time. Make sure you go to HokiesHangoverPod.com. All of our content's up there. Check out our picks for the week. If you missed an episode, that's the best place to find it. All my columns are there. All of our photos are there. That's the place you want to be. Counts Family Pharmacy, Home Field Apparel, appreciate their continued support of the show. And again, we've said it before in the show, but I want to end with this. If you like ACC football and you're looking for some good content, the Basketball Conference podcast is a great product. Obviously, one of the hosts is sitting in front of me, so I can't say anything bad about it, but I
Thanks,
wouldn't
Rick.
anyway.
Thanks, Rick.
In all seriousness, go on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and give them a follow. You'll appreciate the content. It's a pretty good show. They're pretty entertaining. Until then, folks, go Hokies.